A lot has changed, so without wasting any time, let's head straight into the new snapshot 20W08A. Starting off, we have quite a handful of texture changes that have happened in this snapshot, so let's review them one by one real quickly. Starting off with the ores, firstly, we have the coal ore, didn't really change that much from the last snapshot, which was 21W07A, even though I haven't reviewed it on my channel, but I'm just gonna assume you guys know all about the last couple of snapshots which I didn't manage to catch. Anyways, the coal ore didn't really change that much, so we're gonna just skip over that one. Next up, we have the copper ore, which did get a bit of a change. It's got this little kind of tweak here. I'm not really sure if this is actually from the last snapshot or this one, but anyways, it's got the kind of oxidized version of it, like within the ore itself. And I guess the logic behind it is that when smelting it, it's gonna turn into the normal copper ingot, because like kind of oxidization gets removed due to heat or something like that. I'm not really sure what the lore behind having the oxidized states in the ore is, but yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. Next up, we have the iron ore, which has gotten quite a few changes during its time, during the recent times, and now it has this kind of, I'm not really sure what to call it really, but yeah, it has this kind of style, and also it also got a new variant, which is the Deepslate iron ore. Now you may be wondering, what is the Deepslate iron ore? We're gonna get back to that in a second, but here is the texture for that as well. Then we have the gold, which looks a bit more shiny, blinks a lot more, and I am really fond of this texture if I say so myself. And similar to the iron, it also has a Deepslate gold ore texture. Then we have the lapis. Now the lapis wasn't really intended to have some change. The only change that was going to happen to it was it's going to get a Deepslate variant, but it now has a bit more, I don't know, it kind of shines, glows a bit more. I don't really know what you could say about it, but the texture has been changed in both, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. The overall shape didn't really change that much though, so that's cool. Next up, we have the redstone ore. Again, didn't really change that much since the last snapshot, 21W07A. It just got a bit more glowy, and it also has gotten a Deepslate variant. And the diamond ore remains with the old texture, the old ore texture, because it's kind of iconic and all of that. But the only thing that has happened to it is it also has gotten a Deepslate variant. Then lastly, we have the emerald ore, which has gotten quite a bit of a tweak, which I'm really fond of if I say so myself. I really like this new texture for the emerald ore. Not really sure what others would say, but yeah, here it is. And the emerald ore didn't get a Deepslate variant. Now if you turn around real quickly, we have an alignment of Grimstone, or what was called Grimstone and now is called Deepslate. So yeah, it has been official that the Grimstone now is called Deepslate, and all its variants, the Grimstone variants, have gotten their names changed. So we have Deepslate, the normal Deepslate, then we have the polished, the Deepslate tiles, the Deepslate bricks, then we have the chiseled Deepslate. So yeah, the new textures for the ores, the Deepslate ores, they merge in with the Deepslate when they are below Y0. So if you go down real quickly, you're going to be able to spot a few of those. So maybe if this was a bit quicker, we would reach down and you would see that any ores that generate below Y0 within the Deepslate layers are gonna have the Deepslate texture. So here's some gold, we have some diamonds here, we have some redstone here, and yeah, some other ores can be spotted around, but that's just the general gist of it. So let's go back up real quickly. And that wasn't the only change that has happened to what used to be called the Grimstone. Their names didn't only change, but also their texture. So if you look closely into the Deepslate and look into an image of, like, I don't know, like the what it used to be like in 21W07A, you're gonna notice that the Deepslate now has a lighter texture. All of the variants have a lighter texture than what they used to have in 21W07A. So yeah, kind of. I'm not really sure what I could say about it. I'm not really, you know, I can't really judge it that much. I still like it as a block, I guess, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, one other thing that has happened to Deepslate is that it also got a new variant. If we open this chest right here, we have the Cobbled Deepslate. And how about we place it right next to the normal Deepslate? exactly. There's nothing special about it, really. Except for the fact that if we go and get a top view of it, the normal deep slate now has a top texture, which is kind of like slated, I guess, which comes from the name, or maybe or maybe the name comes from the texture, I guess. So it has like a slated texture on top, and the cobbled deep slate has a cobbled sort of texture. So the same way how when you mine stone, you get cobblestone because it got cobbled in the process of you mining it. So yeah, in a similar manner, when you mine the deep slate, you're gonna get the cobbled deep slate, and the cobbled deep slate is what you use to get like the tools and stuff, and then you melt the cobble deep slate to get the normal deep slates, just the way you would do when you're smelting cobblestone to get normal stone, and then you can craft all the other variants. Now I'm not really sure if the recipes have been added, not really mentioned in this in the change logs for the variants. Of course, I'm talking about the tiles because bricks and chiseled deep slates um, is kind of like, you know, common, I guess. Lastly, in the topic of retexturing blocks, surprisingly enough, the Blackstone has gotten a retexture. As you can see, there are like kind of bulky spots. I'm not really sure like what you could say about the texture, but yeah, it has gotten texture, and it is quite obvious from what it used to be, which is quite interesting. Really, out of the blue, this has come out, and. Again, not really sure what to say about it. Doesn't really matter to me that much. I guess it's okay for me. So I have nothing to say about it, but here it is, the new texture for it. So after taking a look back, I have been mistaken. So you do not smelt the cobbled deep slate and to turn it back into the normal deep slate to craft all the variants, but instead you're gonna be able to craft them using the cobbled deep slate. So how about we give it a go real quickly, because I actually haven't tested it out, so let's try it out. Oh wait, that's not how you do it. Yeah, so there we go. We with 4 cobbled deep slate, you will get the polished deep slate, and then I'd assume with this, no. So how do you do it? So deep slate. How do you make the bricked versions? I'm not really sure. So maybe make the slabs. Um, Again, I have been mistaken. You cannot craft all of the variants of deep slate. You can currently only craft the polished deep slate. You cannot craft the tiles or the bricks or the chiseled deep slate, which is actually quite interesting because there are actually recipes for the stairs and stone, the stairs and the slabs and the walls for the tiles and the bricks, but there is no recipe for the actual block, like the deep slate, the tiles and the bricks and the chiseled deep slate, which is quite interesting. So hopefully maybe in the next snapshot we're gonna get those recipes. Maybe once again Mojang forgot to add them in. But anyways, how about we go deep into the caves now, because there have been some changes. So let's not go too deep just yet, because there have been changes on the surface. First of all, so there has been a new type of cave generation, which is called ground cracks, I'm pretty sure, or just cracks, and they come in this sort of formation, so like little holes. So this isn't classified as a ravine, these are cracks in the ground. So as you can see, they're really deep down. So if you're if you're unlucky enough to go in like one of those holes, it's an instant death pretty much. So you've got to be careful where you're going, but those are actually a pretty cool addition. You can see cracks everywhere and stuff like that. I'm really fond of that. Another type of generation is that now canyons and caverns can now be found in the below zero layer, or like the deep slate layer kind of, or in layers like here. Wait, this is just a normal ravine, but like in the deep slate layers they're gonna be able to find like caverns and ravines and stuff like that, if I understand correctly. That's what I understood from the change logs. If you want to take a read through the changelog, by the way, you can go ahead down below in the description. There's going to be a link. I'm not really the best at explaining this stuff. I just do it because I enjoy doing it. So, yeah. Anyways, there have also been some tweaks in the cave sizes and cave generation. As you can see, there are a lot more pillars within the caves. Like this just gives it a bit more of a cave-like effect, and I love it. And as I said, there have been tweaks to the sizes and how common they are, like the caves within the kind of wild below Y level. So here we have like a smaller cave with a lower roof level. Then we go exploring for a little while. The roof is gonna get higher and higher, and then we could get areas like these. Oh my god, I just saw this actually. I've been exploring for quite a bit before, but I did not see this area. This is quite amazing, not gonna lie. Is there something inside here? Nope, just a big old pillar in the center of nowhere, looking amazing. We now have some smaller changes that have been happening to cave generation. If you have keen eyes, or like sharp eyes, or whatever, you're gonna notice that there is no more andesite in these caves. There's only tuff and deep slate, and yeah, that's the change. Basically, andesite no longer can spawn below Y0, but tuff can spawn in place of it, so you can find veins of tuff going all around like so. So it makes it a bit more common than just having to find it within the amethyst geodes. Speaking of the amethyst geodes, there have actually also been a change to them as well. So how about we go and find one real quickly? Yep, there we go. Here is one, and as you can see, the outer casing of it is no longer the tuff block. Actually, let's use big block here. So this is the outer layer of the amethyst geode. As you can see right here, I was so confused because you're gonna see why in the next point. Anyways, as you can see, the outer layer of the amethyst geode is no longer the tuff, as it now spawns below Y0 in big old veins all around the caves. But now the new outer laying of the amethyst geode is what is called the smooth basalt, which is a brand new block which can be obtained by smelting the normal basalt, or of course mining it from the outer layer of the amethyst geode. So let's give this a quick test real quickly. We get some furnace and some coal. There we go, and then we place that. As you can see, we put in the basalt, and now we get the smooth basalt, which looks just like this. Opinions on it? Not really sure. Once again, these textures have really been getting my ums and ers lately, but yeah, can't really give much of an opinion on them. Then we go to my next point and a couple of bug fixes, which are kind of like intertwined together. They're both into each other, so my point is like part of the bug fixes. Anyway, so in the bug fixes, it is mentioned that amethyst geodes will no longer be able to spawn like up in the air, like hanging from the ceiling or something. It's only gonna spawn like in a closed area, or like in a place where there's a tunnel and stuff. So when I was digging through here and I saw that there was air around here, I was so confused because I thought that this amethyst geode was just floating around, and then I saw the deep slate, and then I was like, oh yeah, I just goofed. So yeah, that's one of the bug fixes that have happened in this snapshot. Then we have one more bug fix which I'm going to mention in this video, and that is the fact that old school caves are no longer gonna generate below Y0, and I think that is a lie because, wait, this doesn't really look like it. This is an old style cave. This is an old style cave. The bug fixes have lied. How coincidental as well. As soon as I was mentioning the bug fix, I get an error here. This is an old style cave and it has generated past Y0. Mojang's gotta step up their game, but yeah, that's hopefully gonna be fixed even more in the coming snapshot. To end off the video, there is one little tweak that has happened that has to do with the spore blossom, and that is the fact that not only does it drip down particles from the center of it, but if you look closely, you're gonna see that particles can now also surround it up to about 5 block radius around it, from what I've seen, which is quite cool. I found it really amusing and really liked it, so yeah, it's also going in the video. Anyways, that's all that has been added pretty much in today's snapshot. If you did enjoy the video and found it useful, be sure to leave a like. Also consider subscribing, as that will be greatly appreciated. For now, I'll see you all in the next video. Farewell, lads.